All right, today is a very special video because I have my mama as a special guest today, and we are going to do some thrifting together. We are going to be doing a makeover for her bedroom. Now, she's lived in this house for a couple of years now, and it's kind of a log cabin vibe, but she's wanting to kind of switch up the entire design of her room. Really what happened was when they moved in together, they just kind of pieced everything that they had together and created your bedroom. So it's not chaotic or anything. It just doesn't have a theme. And so she's been looking at some pictures on Pinterest and kind of getting some inspiration. And it seems like she really loves kind of a beigey, green, light, airy, cottagey vibe, which is going to be interesting. That's going to be a challenge to try to marry that cabin feel with that cottage feel together. So when we go in, what exactly are we looking for today?
Pictures, so I can take the pictures and pull the colors from that for the bedding. I would also like some wicker baskets, some big ones with flowers to put in them, of course.
Yeah.
Also I would like some little trinkets, change up my dressers, so it's something that will tie in together. Actually is what I'm looking
so
for.
We're looking for a little bit of everything. We want new trinket. Like, I think we're just gonna go in to a couple thrift stores and we're gonna get some inspiration, and then we're gonna go from there. Like, try to find maybe a piece of art first or something like that that really grabs us, and then we will worry about the bedding and stuff later. The bedding is going to be the most challenging. We are definitely on a budget today. We want to be as frugal as possible, but we want it to have as much character as possible. And I think for the bedding, we may try to do some bargain stores. So we'll check those out, but we're going to thrift our little hearts out first. And let's not waste any more time. Let's get in there and have some fun. We are starting off the day at one of our favorite thrift antique stores in town. Love this one because it's a hybrid, and with some digging, we usually find some really good priced items. Before we even get through the door though, my mom found a plant stand and several trellises that she wanted to get for her star jasmine that she recently picked up, and she's been needing something for that to climb on. We've made it inside, and immediately I spotted this really pretty mountain scene art. I thought the green tones of this, along with the soft neutral beige border, would be a good contender for her bedroom, but we just got here, so let's keep looking just to be sure. Loved the colors of this little dish. I love a good oval too, and it has those mixed greens and beiges in there that we were looking for, but I just think this one feels a little bit too kitchenware for me. We spotted several more pieces of art, and I think this back one is really pretty, but it's not giving me that rustic cottage vibe that she's looking for. My mom is a massive collector and fan of little Dutch style figurines. I think it's a nostalgia thing for her. She spotted this one made in Japan for only $10 and she had to have it. Moving on, and I loved the vintage style and shape of this basket, but it's $39, and I thought that that was way too steep, and I just have a feeling that there is something larger and better priced on the horizon. We both thought that this footed vase was beautiful and the color was spot on. It was also a little bit pricey, but we did decide to cart this one and hang on to it for a bit and keep looking. Obsessed with this little vintage bird hook, and it's only $9.99, so we are definitely throwing this into the cart. We found a really pretty old beige gingham runner that had kind of a cottage feel, and we thought that it might be a good addition to her dresser for layering some items on top. This little fawn figurine was so cute. It felt woodland, it felt cottagey, and it was definitely a big contender. But then we spotted this mini bird candle, and it was only $4. And it was just one of those cases where the price difference won. Loved this white birdcage wall accent, but as we were brainstorming, we weren't quite sure where we would hang something like this, so we decided to pass. My mom liked this pillow. The color was good and it was $11.50, but I personally wasn't wowed by it, and I had a feeling that something better would come along. How darling is this little vintage black and white bird art? I love this. This has got to come home with us. They had a set of 2 of these small brassy lantern style candle holders. I love a good set, and they just really make things feel more cohesive, so we're going to hang on to these. This piece of art was a great deal for $3.99. The colors were nice, but it just felt too tropical for the theme of her room. Okay, so I thought we were gonna get those brassy mini lanterns, but oh my goodness, this one looks so much more elevated and expensive, and it's only $7. So we're gonna put those back and we're gonna get this one instead. My mom really loved this sweet baby bird nest. Not only is it just cute as is, but it's also a bookend, so we're gonna get this. All right, so we got a lot of really cute stuff. We still have not nailed down the picture though. The picture is probably the biggest thing along with the bedding, but we have so many cute little trinkets. We're gonna weed some things out, but I feel like we're off to a really good start. We are officially at thrift store number 2 now, and the first thing we spotted that we both liked were these long, skinny, rectangular pieces of art. They were only $3.99 each, and we deeply contemplated these, but we didn't really know if the scenery and the color schemes were just right. And then we ran into these beauties, and these also came in a set of 3, and they just kind of blew the others out of the water in comparison. Everything about the frames, the color pattern, the art, the pops of green, it just felt so perfect. I really liked this barn scene. We're obviously Southerners, so we have a heart for barns, but I wasn't sure how to incorporate this in with what we already had, so we decided to pass. Not gonna lie, I love this, not for my mom's room, but honestly for myself. If you've seen my home, then you might know how much I love black and white sketched art like this. I ended up putting it back because I wanted to be hyper focused on my mom's room, but I did cart it for a good while before I made that decision. I genuinely loved the whimsy of this. It definitely needed a good coat of rub and buff as a touch-up, but I thought it would be beautiful over her bed. She's ran off to the bathroom, so whenever she gets back, I'm gonna run this by her. I don't know if she's gonna like this or not. This might not be her style, but we'll see. Moving on to the pillows now, and the first thing I see is this beautiful light green pillow from Pier 1, and it looks to be in excellent condition, and it is only $2.99. This feels like a steal to me. Oh my goodness, I just found a second pillow in the perfect shade of green. The exact same one. They're a match. It's meant to be. I hope she likes this, because when she gets back from the bathroom, she's got a lot of stuff to look through. We have officially entered store number 3, which is the Goodwill, and can anyone tell me what this is? I thought it was a textured vase, and then I realized it had a dome top, and it just seemed super random to me after that. I was in love with this gold-framed brick and floral city scene. The only thing holding us back was that we really needed art that was horizontal and not vertical like this. We also spotted this beautiful vintage Santa. This fits her Christmas style so much, and it was just one of those moments that we couldn't pass up on. How pretty and rustic looking is this box? I thought that this would be a sweet addition to the things we already have bought, and it would be great for storing some sentimental things in her bedroom. Moving on to store number 4 now, which is Benny's. This is a local store here in my town where they receive items from all kinds of retail stores, like Target, for instance, and they mark them down so it's way more affordable than buying new retail. My mom really wanted her bedding new, and jackpot, we found it. This linen duvet is a king, and it's exactly the color that she wanted. We were also intrigued by these green ones and thought that they would be excellent for layering. We were trying to decide between this dark one and this more velvet, lighter textured one, but then we kept looking and we found a linen one that was an in-between green, and I just thought that the linen on linen would look the most beautiful. So this is definitely the one that we are bringing home. I know! We found some baskets, finally! Oh my goodness, so many good ones to choose from, too.
All beautiful things.
I know. Which one do you like the most?
Those are cute. These are real cute.
I love the wavy.
I like the
That's
wavy.
beautiful. My mom also really liked this tray style basket, and I definitely thought it would add to the cottage vibe that she is going for, and I love the blonde lighter color of this too. All right, so we have thrifted our little hearts out, and we have found so many good things, but there are some like final pieces that we really need to make everything come together. So we are opting to go to a retail store. We're just gonna hop into Hobby Lobby to get those final little things. So hopefully we find what we needed here.
Wish us luck.
So the first thing we need from Hobby Lobby is flowers. My favorite faux flower is a hydrangea. So we grabbed several of these soft, creamy ivory ones since the white ones seemed too stark. And then we just also popped over to the greenery section to mix that in so the basket of flowers looks very full and realistic. My mom is actually a swan lover just like me, and she couldn't resist this little gold swan, so she put this into the cart. We weren't looking for pillows, but we passed by these and she pulled this one out and said that she saw it the last time when she was here and she loved it so much. And I told her it would fit absolutely perfect, so if she wanted to get it, to go for it. Another thing that we had a feeling we would have to buy new would be lamps, because finding matching lamps at a thrift store is hard, and we for sure looked, trust me. We tried 4 stores before going retail, so it wasn't from lack of effort. And after careful consideration, we landed on these rustic white ones for her side tables. All right, guys, it is a brand new day and we are ready to decorate. I'm so excited. Let me walk you through her room really quickly. This is her current bedding, not awful by any stretch of the imagination, but a little mismatched with no real theme or specific feeling. When you look to the right, she has a sitting area and a dresser that we are going to completely restyle with all of her new goodies. And whenever you look to the left, she has a full couch sitting area for relaxing or watching TV. This side of the room has a little bit more of a coastal feel, which is nice, but I'm eager to redesign the entire room so that each space feels like it belongs. First mission is the elephant in the room, the bed. We are ditching all these golden colors. I like the warmth of it a lot, but since her walls are a wood, I feel like she really needs something cleaner and softer to brighten the room. This striped navy blue is also not doing it any justice, and even the lamps, they're just a completely different shade, and it's all really just clashing in my opinion. She washed the linen duvet before I got there, and just like linen naturally does, it had a few wrinkles in it, and I just hit it with a steam iron just to make sure her bedding looks crisp and intentional. Since duvets can run hot to some people, we really needed a lightweight knit underneath. She didn't have one big enough, so we just used this, I think it was a full that she had, and she can go back later and buy a king so that everything tucks properly into the sides of the bed, and it's gonna look a lot cleaner after that. But this is not an emergency. It's fine. We can layer this underneath. Everything's gonna go on top of it. You're really not gonna be able to see it, so I'm not worried about it. This looks a lot better to me already. The room can quickly read dark with dark bedding and other items, and I wanted to be mindful not to go too light on the bedding as white would look especially loud. So a creamy, light, oatmeal beige linen like this just really brightens up the space in the absolute best way. Adding this quilted linen bedspread to the bottom and folding it into threes gives the bed a more layered look and adds some richness back in without making the bed feel too dark again. Time to add the finishing touches. These simple shams that came with the bedding, they're perfect. I also love the little fringe details and how it echoes the brand new pillow that we got for the bed too. I didn't want to add a ton of layering of pillows on the bed like she had before. I feel like this bed is just craving simplicity. So the large pillows are being moved to the front instead of the back, which is what she normally does. And I'm adding the single pillow to the middle. I love the colors of this pillow so much, and I am so happy that she was able to get this one, the one that she had been dreaming about. Okay, so the next thing that we are going to deal with is these tall lamps. First of all, I think that they're really just kind of too tall for this space. I think that they would look better on some type of large credenza or entry table or something like that. So we're just going to remove these all together. We were actually discussing maybe painting these like a really beautiful shade of rich orange for her living room. So we're going to try to repurpose those in the future. But for now, they gotta go, and of course, all of this blue has to go because we want everything to be nice and cohesive. My mom's a smart lady, and she had command strips on everything, which was so great and easy for removal, and just not having to deal with holes in her walls. I feel like a kid in the candy store because, you know, we got a lot of stuff and it's been several weeks since we went and we're just now getting to the decorating part. But breaking these out again is just so fun. And it's just jogging all of my memory of what my plans were for everything. And I am just so stoked about these beautiful pictures that we got. They are just so vintage and just dreamy and still has that like rustic feel about it, but has a lot of the beautiful colors that we needed for the pictures that are going to go on the side of her bed. And I think my favorite part is really just the frames. I love how it's like this beautiful bronzy, it's very worn, very aged, and I think that these are just going to be so gorgeous. So I'm going to get these cleaned up and then we're going to hang them. New lamps are officially out and they look so much more light and airy, and I thought that I was going to hang these pictures, but once we realized we could rest them on the nightstands and hide one of the light switches on the other side, it just felt like the better move. She also got these beautiful matching boxes, and the texture of these are so pretty and exactly what her nightstands needed. We decided to remove this boat picture as we were trying to get rid of that coastal feeling and replace it with everything more rustic cottage. Since we had 3 of these types of pictures, what better place to go ahead and hang this third one right here before you exit the bedroom. Okay, so my mom really wanted a large basket with like overflowing flowers inside of it, and when we found this one, we knew that it was definitely the one. So we also went to Hobby Lobby and we got a bunch of hydrangeas and just kind of mixed flowers to put that in here. I think we're gonna put it somewhere on the foot of her bed. So let's get this arranged really beautifully and then we'll do that. I thought I was going to need a piece of foam in the bottom of this to arrange these flowers, but it turns out that the stems were just long enough and it arranged beautifully without it. So she gets to return that foam or she can use it for another project in the future. She had recently moved this bench to her dining room, but we thought it would be a good move to bring it back to the foot of her bed. The sheepskin rug looks beautiful here, but since we already have 3 fur rugs in her room, I feel like it's just way too much. So we decided to replace it with this textured beige blanket. I love the little fringe details hanging off the sides too, and it just feels right now. I also added the little aged sentimental box that we found at the Goodwill next to the flowers, and the bed area is now complete, and the room is already looking so fresh and just so much better. Let's move on now to styling the sitting area and her dresser. I felt like the positioning of her chair was a little off, so we tweaked it so that it faced the entry of the room more, making it a more inviting place to sit instead of just like a chair crammed into a corner. Now it's time to remove all these trinkets on her dresser so we can have a blank slate to play around with some of the new items that she got. She had several old books that she's collected, and I thought that they would be perfect. I especially like how most of these were a teal green color and complemented her pillow on her bedding just so well. This type of thing is usually one of the hardest parts. You just have to play and move things around and find what feels good. Eventually, we pulled this heron canvas that she had in a guest bedroom. Even though this can technically feel a little coastal, I felt like the colors really fit well. And since it was a bird, it felt like it belonged over some of the boats and the ships that she had before. I'm sure you remember thrifting this little guy, and it just looks so good here. She also had the perfect sized candle for her new lantern we got, and this just looks absolutely dreamy. I love glass pieces like this, and it definitely does not look like we paid $7 for this. And this is where we have landed so far with her dresser. It looks a lot cleaner, a lot more minimal, but still full of character. She already had this darling little pillow with green stripes on one side and bunnies on the other, and I think either works fine, but I'm a huge stripe fan. I just think it's more calming for this space. Now we are moving on to the couch sitting area portion. First things first, all these folded blankets have to go. Too many like this can make a space look sloppy quickly. I also want to remove these soft blue coastal canvases and replace them with this gorgeous dreamy pond scene with the most romantic soft greenery and castle. My mom actually already had this in her living room, and we swapped it for a different piece of art that would pop better. Her living room is the same type of wood walls as her bedroom, so this piece up against the wood just kind of disappears and it doesn't get the attention it deserves. So since she has a white accent wall in her bedroom, it seems like the perfect place to put it, and the colors just fit so perfectly with her bedding and all the other details we've decorated with so far. We also added these aged looking black wall planters to each side of the picture, and we picked up this greenery as well as some little bird feathers while we were over at Hobby Lobby. Sometimes it's just all about the little meaningful details. I also thought that this couch would be the perfect place to add in those Pier 1 pillows that we thrifted for only $2.99 each, and I love the color of these and I think that they fit so well. How fitting was this little swan that she picked out too. It just feels like a really nice nod to the swan scene on the larger piece of art, and I just layered a vintage green book underneath so it doesn't get lost on the dark wood side table. Then I gathered just a few of the other items she had remaining along with that cute vintage bird candle, and I put them here on this tray style basket that she picked out. I love a functional piece like this here on her ottoman. She can change this up how she likes and use it for drinks and snacks in the future, and I feel like it's just pretty right now, but it's actually very useful. And instead of 3 or 4 blankets thrown around everywhere, I just grabbed a nice knit one that she had in a dark green color and draped it so the couch still has that cozy, inviting, and lived-in feel.
I also decided last minute to put this sweet vintage bird hook that we got and just pop it underneath the other photo on the wall. Not only does the shape feel like it belongs, but it's also right beside her closet and right before you exit the room. And of course, just to jog everyone's memory really quickly, this was my mom's bedroom before. And this is the after. If you made it this far, thank you so much for spending some time with us today. This makeover meant a lot to me, getting to create something special for my mom and getting to bring you along for the process. I'm grateful that I get to share these little transformations with you. Let us know which purchase was your favorite and which section of the room was your favorite. Until next time, guys, take care. Bye.